What if the difference between a forgettable first date and one that, actually changes everything isn't about chemistry, but about a single, well-asked question?
Most of us walk into first dates completely unprepared for the one thing that truly matters. But look, it's a solvable problem. By the time we're done here, you'll have a totally new way to think about making a genuine connection. You're listening to Stereo Butterflies. We talk about love, lust, and loneliness like no one's listening. This explainer was crafted with the help of AI technology to ensure high-quality insights.
Okay, let's be real. We've all been there. You sit down, the menus arrive, and all of a sudden you're in the hot seat. The air just gets tight, and the whole thing starts to feel less like two people connecting and more like a performance review.
And here's where it all goes wrong. The usual questions: what do you do? How is your weekend? They're just data collection. They're fact-finding missions. But a real connection, that starts when you ask for a feeling, for a story. A question like, what's a story about where you grew up? That's not a question, that's an invitation. It's an invitation to share a piece of who you are, not just what's on your LinkedIn profile. And of course, these are the three ghosts that haunt every single first date. You've got the fear of that deafening, awkward silence where you both just stare at your water glass. Then there's the panic when you realize you've just dumped a 5-minute story about your childhood pet's tragic passing. And finally, the absolute dread of accidentally stepping on a conversational landmine that just kills the whole vibe. These fears are so real, and they're exactly why we retreat to the safety of those boring, sterile interview questions.
So, the solution isn't to get a better script. It's to throw the script away completely. This is all about a shift in your mindset, from performance to presence, from reciting lines to being genuinely curious.
And this is where the idea of a conversational toolkit just changes the game. Look, some people think preparing questions feels forced or inauthentic, but that's a total myth. This isn't about memorizing lines to perform. It's about having a few thoughtful, flexible tools in your back pocket. So when a natural pause happens, you can build a bridge instead of panicking. Honestly, a little preparation actually allows you to be more spontaneous, not less.
All right, so let's move into Act 2 of the date. This is where we move from just breaking the ice to actually, warming the water. The goal here is to be light, to be playful, and to create a space where your date can just relax and be themselves.
Just think about what a question like this actually does. It's fun, it requires absolutely zero emotional heavy lifting, and it instantly tells you something about a person's imagination and their tastes. You're not interrogating them, you're inviting them to play a little game with you.
This is how you elevate small talk. Instead of the generic, "How was your week?" which almost always gets a one-word answer, this question asks for a tiny moment of joy. It could be anything: the perfect cup of coffee, a song they rediscovered on the radio. It opens a little window into their world and what actually lights them up inside.
And hey, if you ever feel the energy dipping, just try a simple game like this or that. Keep it rapid fire and light. Coffee or tea, beach or mountains. It's completely low pressure, it's dynamic, and you learn a ton about their preferences without it ever feeling like a pop quiz.
Okay, so once you've built that initial rapport and you're both feeling comfortable, you might be ready for Act 3. This is where you can gently start to probe for a deeper connection, exploring values, passions, and dreams, but without making it feel like an awkward therapy session.
This is such a fantastic way to ask about someone's passions. It touches on what they've accomplished and what they aspire to. I mean, hearing someone talk about a skill they've mastered or one they've always dreamed of learning, it reveals so much about their character, their discipline, and what truly, genuinely excites them.
Now, we all want to know if we're actually compatible, right? But asking about deal breakers right out of the gate can feel really confrontational. It's like you're looking for reasons to disqualify them. But there's a much more inviting way to get to the heart of what really matters.
See? It's all in the framing. This question feels collaborative. It's not asking, what do you hate? It's asking, what do you value? And that simple shift opens the door to a real conversation about partnership and trust, and it comes from a place of positivity, not suspicion.
So just as important as what to ask is what not to ask. Some questions are just conversational dead ends, or even worse, they're full-blown mood killers. You gotta think of these as traps to be sidestepped.
Ah, and here it is, the most notorious trap question of them all. Why are you still single? It's often asked with good intentions, I guess, but it almost always lands with a thud of judgment. It implies that being single is a problem that needs to be solved. The alternative, though, it's so much more empowering. It's focused on the present, it's positive, and it honors their journey exactly where they are right now.
And what about the really heavy stuff? Money, politics,
Exes. These topics aren't forbidden forever, but they are absolutely not first date material. They require a foundation of trust that simply hasn't been built yet. You have to earn the right to have those conversations.
And when it all comes down to it, this is the secret. This is the whole thing. You can spend all night long trying to prove how interesting you are, crafting perfect little stories to make yourself sound fascinating. But the one thing that truly creates a connection, the thing that makes someone want to see you again, is making them feel that you are genuinely interested in them. So, what's the real takeaway here? It's this: be present, not perfect. Listen more than you ask. And please remember that your curiosity is the connection. Because a great first date isn't an interview, it's the beginning of a shared story. If this explainer gave you value, share it with someone you care about, hit subscribe, and leave a review. You've been listening to Stereo Butterflies.